Okay, thanks for joining this live session. Straight away, we are looking at MGLD Marigold Cosmetics Inc. It has gained 82%. We're gonna find out. Okay, we've looked. We haven't found any news. There might be some reason, but we haven't found any at the moment. Okay, it's gained 79.72%. Okay, 2.95 million shares have crossed the tape so far. I don't think it's optionable. It's not optionable. Next one is EXN. Excelon Resources. Okay, has gained 90.80, roughly 90%. Let's see why this is spiking. Okay, there's a disclosure today. It says let's see what it says. Okay, it's a gold mining company. It says the company is pleased to provide an update on the ongoing review of high-grade gold opportunities from historical exploration of Kilgore projects in Idaho. The highlights are intensive review and rebuilding of Kilgore drilling hole database demonstrates opportunities to focus on high-grade gold potential with updated exploration techniques. Historic results were often reported in broad intervals, with discrete high-grade zones encountered in diamond drilling, including those figures they have there: 10.9 G per T gold over 6.2 meters in the 160 KC-354. Okay, so yes, they are saying here they're pleased to update on the ongoing review of high-grade gold opportunities. That's in a nutshell what this is all about. This is a technical disclosure. So that's where we are now. It's a gold trade, and I believe MGLD is equally a gold trade as well. Is EXN optionable? Let's see. So far we have 4.621 million shares. It's not optionable. CEI doing, what is it doing now? Let's see. Kamba Energy down 5.61%. No news. For them is 5.983 million shares. PZG, Paramount Gold Nevada. Yeah, it's another gold stock. Penny stock as well, has gained there 30.38%. not optionable. Let's see, there's no news. So we have 3 gold stocks on the move in this pre-market session. Recruiter.com grouping up 29.83. An exception, this is not a gold stock. Okay, recruiter.com has seen only 150 shares so far. CLSD, Clearside Biomedical, it's again 29.63. Let's see what the news is. Okay, yesterday declared better than expected earnings outcomes. Okay, it's one of the stocks on the move, obviously. I think we've checked. Okay, 915,872 shares have crossed the tape. Optionable, yes, it is optionable. GFAI, Godforce AI Company Limited. It's gained 56.3%. Let's see whether we can find the news. Okay. Said today they had signed a definitive agreement for the purchase of Shenzhen Kiwian Robot Services at Guangzhou Kiwi Robot Technology for $10 million. The deal is expected to close by end of April. The deal consideration will be satisfied via 10% cash and the balance restricted in restricted ordinary shares of the company. Also, the company retreated its 2022 full-year revenue outlook of $55 million to $60 million. One analyst pulled by Capital IQ is expected $60 million. Yeah, Paul, morning. So far we have 3 gold stocks on the move. 1, 2, three gold stocks so far. MGLD. No, sorry, this is not a gold stock, is it? It's not a gold stock, no. We have 2 gold stocks, not 3. EXN, Excellent Resources, up now to 1.84. At some point it was actually higher than that. You can see it's at 1.88, and at some point it was at 2.39. Quite weak for you, okay. Yeah, it happens, yeah. You win some, you lose some, yeah. PZG, okay, up 34.18%. Okay, let's see the S&P futures. Can't get it. We're just going to do the cash. S&P futures is at 4301 at the moment, rallying. Yeah, I know. Crazy, yes. Very, very crazy. And unfortunately, I mean, largely because of energy, fuel costs, and everything we do is associated with fuel. We can't run away from that. It's rising energy prices is like a highly contagious disease. You know, it will affect everywhere. Yeah, everywhere. Everybody's complaining everywhere in the world. I know that can be an excuse, yes. Yeah, that's a basic income. Yeah, indeed, that can be an excuse. Yeah. So the S&P closed the last session at I think it closed at, yeah, where it is right now, 4259, but it has rallied and the futures has rallied now to 43032, has been moving sideways for pretty much the whole of this session. The folks in Europe and indeed some in New York are already trading. No breakfast. EXN, okay, 94.9%, that's the gain right now. These online meetings, they are not Zoom meetings, I guess, because they can't easily see you walking out. If they were, I guess they're probably not Zoom meetings, or rather you turn off your camera, I guess. You've heard of people working multiple jobs, or at least second jobs, given the work from home going on. Okay, but obviously some of those what they're presenting aren't they of immediate use to you, or it's something you can always go ahead and go pick up from somewhere, I guess. Okay, I can, maybe they probably, what they're presenting, they would have shared it with you, and you can always look it up and work on. GFAI. Okay, guard force has gained 60%. So let's see what's going on. S&P futures now at 4299. HYMC, let's see what's going on with it. Okay, Highcroft Mining Holdings up 11.33. In case they ask you something here. Okay, well, you know how you definitely know how you're playing it. It's basically to some extent that's I mean, you're not. I mean, I watched a video, YouTube video, and they were talking about people who now have at least second jobs that are probably paying as much as their first jobs, or even not, if not even more, online. I mean, remotely, So, and they were talking about these things, meetings and all that. How do they catch up on all that? But people have just seen that it's an opportunity. They are, taking advantage and making more money. But obviously, you're definitely not doing that. You're still doing your just on the gym and all that stuff. But yeah, I was yeah I was I just watched the video, and they were saying things like that, and the risks and all that stuff, and the health wise and all that. Yeah, and also the fact that yeah, sometimes some of those there's some issues there. There can be some issues. I mean, naturally, there isn't anything wrong about having a second job or other jobs. Nothing wrong, nothing illegal. But policy wise, or how that will sit with the other employer and all that stuff. It's usually the issue, yes. And in this sort of cases, yeah. Okay, let's see what's going on with in the broader market. So the market is opening in about 57 minutes or thereabout. Russia targets new cities and calls on foreign volunteers to join fight. That is serious. UK to impose sanctions on 386 members of Russian Duma. European stocks on track for weekly gain after days of choppy trading. We are at the limits of our capacity. The VIV struggles on the weight of the refugee crisis. BlackRock hit by $17 billion in losses on Russian exposure. Beijing weighs declare rescue deal for billionaire owner of Tsingshan. Chinese smartphone shipments to Russia plunge as ruble collapses. Deutsche Bank board nets a bigger bonus. Yeah, but I think the problem, the thing, the major, and it is not just minor. It's the big thing. There is the lives that are being lost in Ukraine. So it's Putin can't. He's messed up. He has messed up. He before now. He I can easily tell you that the people didn't mind his rhetoric and all that stuff. But with his desperation right there now in Ukraine, and the fact that people have been killed and all other stuff, so he has definitely lost a lot of fans, a lot of supporters, you know, definitely. Yeah, I mean, no, indeed, but at the same time, it doesn't justify the lives that are being lost. That's the problem here. He wasn't sufficiently advised. That's the problem, and it's leading to a mess. His country is losing his country, and lives are being lost. And Ukrainians, are pretty much also Russians to a great extent. At least at some point they were one country. Yes, not very long ago. So it's not a good look for him. He definitely he shouldn't have taken it out on people. He should have, you know, just like the West are doing, or rather NATO countries are currently doing. They don't want to engage him because they now know that engaging him will be getting into what he wants, because he definitely wants them to get involved. And then that's so right now um, they are doing what he should have done, calculating and trying other means, and unfortunately as well, I'm sure NATO is not ruling out a possible attack. This is my opinion. At some point, they are not ruling it out because definitely it's there at some point. If his resources are down to some extent, they can get involved in some way. They can escalate their own involvement. So you can never rule out all of these things. But at the same time, I know they are NATO country. NATO itself is being very savvy, very very savvy right now, not to fall into, not to play into his game, not to play his game. Yes. Okay. Yeah. I can imagine. Yeah. I wouldn't doubt that. Yes. Yeah. So before this attack, the man, he could have made a case that he wouldn't, that he himself can't be encroaching on the surrounding vassals of NATO, that that Russia wouldn't be able to do that. He can definitely argue that, but unfortunately he has gone in this direction. He has just um, dropped the ball. No, I've not. I've not read Clausewitz. Let's see what that is. was a Prussian general and military theorist who stressed the moral, meaning in modern terms psychological and political aspects of war. His notable work about war was Unfinished at His Death. He was a realist in many different senses, and while in some aspects a romantic, also drew heavily on the rationalist ideas of the European Enlightenment. Okay, let's see. Von Krieg. Yeah. Okay, that's his book. Clausewitz was among those intrigued by the manner in which the leaders of the French Revolution, especially Napoleon, changed the conduct of war through their ability to motivate the populace and gain access to full resources of the state, thus unleashing war on a greater scale than had previously been seen in Europe. Clausewitz believed that moral forces in battle had a big influence on its outcome. Clausewitz was well educated and had strong interests in the art, history, science, and education. He was a professional soldier who spent a considerable part of his life fighting against Napoleon. He had experienced the French Revolutionary Army's zeal versus the older order's compulsive recruitment armies. The insight he gained from his political and military experiences, combined with a solid grasp of European history, provided the basis for his work. A wealth of historical examples is used to illustrate its various ideas. Napoleon and Frederick the Great figure prominently for having made very efficient use of the terrain, movement, and the forces at their disposal. Clausewitz argued that war theory cannot be a strict operational advice for generals. Instead, he wanted to highlight general principles that would result from the study of history and logical thinking. He contended that military campaigns could be planned only to a very small degree because incalculable influences or events, so-called friction, would quickly make any too detailed planning in advance obsolete. Military leaders must be capable to make decisions under time pressure with incomplete information, since, in his opinion, three-quarters of the things on which action is built in war are concealed and distorted by the fog of war. Yes, I can imagine. Yeah, but I mean, so far, I think from what I've just read now, I don't think Putin is putting this guy's theory to work, or hasn't sufficiently put it to work to some extent. But in some ways, he has, because he's looking a bit disorganized, which is what they're saying here. You don't need to have a detailed plan to. It says here. It says here, military campaigns could be planned only to a very small degree because incalculable influences or events, or so-called friction, would quickly make any too detailed planning in advance obsolete. So, who knows? But yeah, I can imagine they would have, I mean, yeah, given his history, he would have read his books and other stuff. But on the other hand, as well, things have also changed. Things have changed a lot. Things have changed. We are when Clausewitz and all the other theorists came about their theory, we didn't have the sort of information we have on our hands then. So, in as much as to some extent they don't seem to be a lot, but they are quite relevant. They are quite important. They can change a lot of things. For instance, now they are saying that, or rather, they have accused Ukraine and NATO of trying to come up with or trying to use chemical weapons. And then NATO are now saying that maybe he is actually preparing for that. So, so the folks, what social media or the enhancement of technology, has offered even people who are not in the defense and intelligence space, is that these tools can enable them, even enable independent folks who are keen on this war, who are interested, for various reasons. They can help them validate some of these things. They can even help Ukraine, for instance, determine locations of any possible nuclear or even chemical or biological weapons, where they are. They can that sort of intelligence, can be assessed by some of these geeks, and so that the point I'm trying to make is that the technology has changed a lot, and one aspect of what Clausewitz is talking about, which probably Putin didn't to some extent work on before embarking on what he's doing now is to win over the people of Ukraine. He didn't do that, and unfortunately his stance is totally opposite to their own stance. So even if he succeeds in smashing up the country to rubble, but he will still have a tough time occupying the place. Yeah, Thucydides. I've heard of Thucydides. Yeah. I mean, no doubt. The it's just that the whole the theory to a great extent wouldn't age, but you have to. Well, I guess the reason why you can, yes, you can. That assertion that the theory doesn't age is the fact that he has actually mentioned here, that you when you have a plan, you don't have you don't need to have a detailed one, because things can always change. So I think to some extent that will always accommodate these factors, including how the present, what is prevailing today, which is that things have changed a lot. So by having a small plan that you can always modify, or that will enable you to be flexible, will probably to some extent enable you to accommodate the asymmetric strategies and the warfare from opposing parties, and the asymmetric parties, those who are trying to undermine him, or even indeed NATO as well. So yeah, yeah, to some extent, yes, I think I can agree that it doesn't age, because as I mentioned, if you don't go ahead and furnish a very broad plan about how you're going to do whatever you're doing, you probably will not be able to be flexible enough, and probably may not be able to sufficiently take on what's prevailing on the ground right now. So let's see Thucydides. Thucydides trap. The one I hear a lot is the Thucydides trap. Yeah, was an Athenian historian and general. His theory of the Peloponnesian War recounts the 5th century BC war between Sparta and Athens until the year 411 BC. Thucydides has been dubbed the father of scientific history by those who accept his claims to have applied strict standards of impartiality and evidence gathering and analysis of cause and effect without reference to intervention by the deities, as outlined in his introduction to his work. Okay, we have timed out, have we? Yes, as we can see through these two CDCs. CDD. Okay, so let's return and see what's going on. HYMC, Highcroft Mining, up 3.3%. It was higher earlier on. MGLD, up 2.49%. Okay, now 78.8%. It's lost much of its gains. At some point, it was trading at 7.2574. EXN. EXN has gained 86.73. Excelon Resources. I think it also, the company mines gold, I think. So the market is opening in about 24 minutes. CEI, what do we have for Kamba Energy? Down 5.61%. PZG, that's another gold miner. Paramount Gold Nevada, up to 26.54%. RCRT Recruiter.com, up 17.29%. CLSD, Clearside Biomedical, up 39.26. Okay, let's see. So this is dialogue, I believe. And the other one is the Pericles funeral oration. Yeah. Yeah, thanks for sharing these. So S&P futures at 4290. So the market is opening in 18 minutes. Futures jump on hopes of progress in Russia Ukraine talks. I can't see the futures here. Okay, well they have gained some, but losing. It's losing ground. It's been losing ground for some time now, close to 30 minutes now. Russia widens military Ukraine offensive. Troops approach Kyiv. U.S. allies may revoke China's most favored trading status. Friday marks 2 years since COVID was declared a pandemic. Ford, PG&E partner on electric F-15 150 powering homes and grid. Yeah, you can never read enough. Yeah, expect more pain. You can see that. With invasion now in its third week, the U.S. and its allies prepared to step up their efforts to isolate and sanction Russia, according to media reports. President Joe Biden on Friday, along with the European Union and the G7, will move to revoke China's most favored trading status, stripping Russia of its favored nation status. Paves the way for the United States and its allies to impose tariffs on a wide range of Russian goods. Biden on Tuesday imposed a ban on Russian energy imports. So yes, things are going to get tough before they get better. Okay, Friday marks 2 years since COVID was declared a pandemic. This is an interesting one. Okay. Ford will collaborate with Pacific Gas and Electric Co. in California to evaluate the bi-directional charging capabilities of the F-150 Lightning to power homes and return energy to the power grid. Ford CEO Jim Farley and PG&E CEO Patty Pope announced the plans Thursday night at the CERA Week energy conference in Texas. Okay, let's see what's going on. CLSI Biomedical has been moving sideways. The gain is now 37.04. MGLD Marigold up 77.42%. Excellent Resources 73.47. CEI down 5.6, just not much has moved. Mount Gold Nevada, 27.85. That's the gain. Recruiter.com group up 17.29. Let's see what the news is. This is a penny stock. Not optionable. Volume is only 222. The market is opening in about 9 minutes. MPP down 12.22%. Occidental down 1.77%. EXN is down 1.68. Let's see what crude is saying. Don't have any price on Brent crude there, but we have the US crude is at 104.5. Okay, Brent crude is at 108.59. So I understand at these sort of prices, the oil producing companies will continue to make money. CVX down 3.14. Shell is down 0.6. Marathon is down 1.13. So we're counting down 7 minutes to the open. Ford is up 0.43%. Tesla up 1.07%. Apple up 0.72. Pulse Inc. unchanged. Mexico Energy down 5.5. These are some of the ones that were rallying last week when we had that surge. VTNR, Vertex Energy up 1.46. Next tier, Oil Field Solutions up down 0.76. Schlumberger down 1.08. Baker Hughes, PKR down 0.87 at the bottom. Down 1.92. Let's see, MULN down 6.96. Yeah, it's anything's possible. I think it's become quite popular. I think gradually getting popular. So I'm looking at the 15-minute chart for Modern. Going all the way back to the 7th of March. Can I go? Can I get there? I think I can. To see what's been happening. Yeah, it's been since all the way back to 7th of March was when? Monday. Yeah. It's been trading within a certain range between 0.8 and 1.4. Yeah, it's possible. What is certain is that it has always traded above its. I mean, what is certain is for day traders, they can bet on it at least spiking above its 200-day moving average, even though, rising above its 200-day moving average or 200-minute moving average. So it hasn't been as that volatile. It has been, yes, it has been. Yesterday did the same thing on 2 occasions. It was above its 50-minute moving average, 200-minute moving average, but it didn't linger there. So let me just pull back and maybe expand on that. Yeah, did once. Yeah, that's what is certain, and right now it is below that moving average. So there, sure, manipulation or whatever it is, it will definitely be occurring. Yeah, I can see what you mean. See, there's definitely some manipulation going on here. It looks like it's barcoding or something like that. or maybe because of the chart I'm using. Oh, the market is open now. Market is opened. Let's check these. Okay, 8.67%. Where did you find that data concerning its float short interest? Okay, let's see. I'm trying to text. Or maybe the shares available for shorting may have been taken up, I guess. Utilization, or what is it called? Utilization. That may be what they were talking about. Okay, it's down 6.82, trying to recover. Plunged all the way down to 0.98. Penny is optional. That's a good thing. Or rather, that will always complicate things. These ones are expiring next week. Doesn't have a wonderful spread here. The $1 strike. MGLD rather. Okay, up 86.36. EXN up 44.9%. Okay, short percent of float is saying 9.75%. CEI down 12.74. Okay, S&P is has gained 0.69%. Nasdaq 0.5%. Internet is slow today. Okay, guard force. I think it's on the move. Let's see. GFAI. It's gained 126.98%, spiking majorly. Is it optionable? No, it's not. Trading halted. trading halted for GFAI, so let's see whether we can get a target for it. But when it's going to drop, probably, as they usually do when they're halted. So let's take this price of 1.0756 and this low of 1.0240. So we have a difference of about 0.06 multiplied by 2.618, 0.06 multiplied by 2.618. We have 0.15 plus 1.22, 1.377. That's our target for guard force. Okay. There's no guarantee it's gonna get there, and when it's when a halt is lifted, it may drop. I think it's acquiring another company or something like that. It has signed a deal to buy Shenzhen QAN Robot Services.